In front of three witnesses, D. Holmes, 1833 to 1886, levitated out of a third-story window of one room and entered through the window of an adjoining room on a night in 1868. This levitation act is perhaps considered his most famous, as Holmes was a medium and this levitation was just one of the many occurrences that happened around him due to his mediumistic abilities. Holmes gained fame as a medium because he demonstrated 4 different types of mediumship: direct voice, the ability to allow spirits to audibly speak; trance speaker, the ability to allow spirits to speak through oneself; clairvoyant, the ability to see things that are out of view; and physical medium, moving objects at a distance; and levitation, which was the type of mediumship in which he had no equal. Throughout his life, he conducted more than 100 séances, during which people witnessed him levitating on numerous occasions and producing rapping and knocks in houses at will. It appears that Holmes inherited this ability from his family. His mother was known as a seer, as were his great-uncle and uncle. During his teens, he made a promise with a friend that they would visit each other if one of them were to pass away. Holmes lost contact with his friend until one night when he saw a brightly lit vision of his friend standing at the foot of his bed. This vision gave Holmes the feeling that his friend had died. A few days later, a letter arrived confirming that his friend had indeed died of malignant dysentery 3 days before Holmes' vision. A few years later, the house where he was staying with his aunt began experiencing odd phenomena, such as strange knocking sounds and even moving tables. By the time he was 18 years old, he started conducting his first séance, and he continued this practice until his passing at the age of 53. Holmes was arguably one of the most renowned mediums to have ever lived, and he coincidentally entered the world during a period when spiritualism was at its zenith. Spiritualism emerged as a significant religious and societal movement during the 19th century, centering around the belief in a continuity of individual consciousness after death and the potential for communication between the living and the departed. Spirits were believed to continue their advancement and evolution through higher planes or realms in the afterlife, enabling them to convey wisdom on moral and ethical matters, as well as insights into the nature of God and the afterlife. While spiritualists maintained that anyone could receive messages from spirits, formal communication sessions known as séances were typically conducted by mediums who claimed to receive information from the spirit realm. Some individuals were thought to possess the extraordinary gift of mediumship, but with dedicated study and practice, anyone could potentially become a medium. Emanuel Swedenborg, 1688–1772, and Franz Mesmer, 1734–1815, played pivotal roles in shaping the foundational ideas of early spiritualists. Swedenborg, who had a background as an inventor and scientist, experienced mystical visions that led him into the realm of mysticism. He professed to communicate with spirits while in a conscious state, providing intricate descriptions of the spirit realm. 2 aspects of his teachings resonated with early spiritualists: the existence of multiple planes of existence and the notion that spirits served as intermediaries between humans and the divine, occasionally facilitating divine communication. Among the precursors of spiritualism was the magnetist movement, which had evolved from Franz Anton Mesmer's magnetic healing theories. While magnetists focused on spiritual healing and the public demonstration of magnetic phenomena, spiritualism incorporated many of their assumptions, attributing healings to spirit influence rather than magnetic power. However, most would concur that true spiritualism found its roots with the Fox sisters. A series of apparently supernatural events occurred at a farmhouse in Hydesville, New York, in 1848. The owner's family, along with previous occupants, had been disturbed by unexplained rapping noises. After a severe disturbance, the owner's youngest daughter, Kate Fox, successfully challenged the supposed spirit to repeat the raps the number of times she flipped her fingers. Once communication was established, a code allowed the raps to answer questions, revealing the spirit to be a man who had been murdered in the house. The Fox sisters rapidly ascended to fame as the inaugural celebrity mediums, hosting public séances in New York. Between the 1840s and 1920s, spiritualism experienced significant expansion, particularly in English-speaking nations, amassing over 8 million adherents in the United States and Europe by 1897, primarily from the middle and upper classes. This growth was partly fueled by the American Civil War and World War I, especially among those grieving lost loved ones. Notably, even Mary Todd Lincoln, grieving the loss of her son, organized séances in the White House, attended by her husband, President Abraham Lincoln. A derivative of spiritualism, Spiritism, was developed by Allan Kardec, and it continues to thrive in Brazil and the Philippines, as I discussed in a previous video. Historically, spiritualism was organized in small groups conducting séances, or meetings for spirit communication. These séances typically involved 6 to 8 people, with one medium and the rest as sitters. A certain number of people were considered necessary in these sittings, as spirits were believed to draw vital energies from the group, focused by the medium to create various spirit phenomena. A typical setting occurred in darkness, with the group forming a circle. Depending on the medium's skills, external tools like Ouija boards might be used to communicate with the deceased. The board contained symbols, pictures, letters, numbers, and words. One or more participants placed fingers on a planchette in the middle of the board, which would move to spell out words corresponding to answers from the spirits. Some mediums did not utilize tools but rather employed their bodies as the medium of communication. Some of these mediums remained fully conscious and awake while serving as contacts, commonly referred to as conscious channelers, while others transitioned into partial or full trances or altered states of consciousness, known as trance mediums. Often, trance mediums asserted that they had no recollection of the messages conveyed while in the trance state, and an assistant usually recorded their words. The phenomena of spiritualism encompass a wide range of practices and manifestations believed to support the idea of life after death. These include prophecy, clairvoyance, clairaudience, the gift of tongues, laying on of hands, healing, visions, trance, apports, objects appearing seemingly out of nowhere, revelations, raps, mysterious knocking sounds, levitation, automatic and independent writing and painting, photography capturing spiritual images, materialization, the appearance of spirits in physical form, usually in the form of a plasma-like substance known as ectoplasm, psychometry, reading objects to gain information about their owners, direct and independent voice phenomena, voices heard without a physical source, and telekinesis, movements of objects without a physical cause. In contrast to modern mediums, the most extraordinary demonstrations of spiritualism consistently arise from the realm of physical mediumship. This unique form of mediumship possesses the remarkable ability to generate supernatural phenomena that one can see, touch, feel and hear. The guiding spirit of the medium, often referred to as a control guide, skillfully coordinates and directs the medium's energies, giving birth to spirit manifestations, often facilitated by the mysterious substance known as ectoplasm. This enigmatic substance is thought to materialize in the delicate form of a gauze-like material, emerging from orifices in the physical medium's body. Spirits shroud themselves in this ethereal substance, granting them the capacity to interact with the tangible, physical realm. This interaction even extends to enabling observers to perceive the spirit's physical appearances as they existed during their earthly existence. Ectoplasm, in its initial state, presents itself as transparent and almost imperceptible, gradually adopting a deeper hue and becoming visible as the underlying psychic energy intensifies. Certain accounts even suggest that in particularly intense instances, ectoplasm may exude a distinct and potent odor. The presence of light proves to be detrimental to the manifestation of ectoplasm, as it can lead to the dissipation of this ethereal substance. During the latter half of the 19th century, several spiritualist mediums advocated specialized tools for seances, including spirit trumpets to magnify whispered spirit voices, spirit slates revealing messages written by spirits, seance tables that rotated or levitated in the presence of spirits, and spirit cabinets where mediums were securely enclosed to prevent fraud. In addition to smaller seances, larger gatherings were held for public demonstrations of spirit contact and psychic phenomena. Spiritualist associations began to appear in the United States and culminated in the National Spiritualist Association, later the National Spiritualist Association of Churches, in 1893. Many associations also sponsored camps where believers could congregate, have private sessions with mediums, and attend daily seances. These gatherings evolved into the Sunday church services common in spiritualist churches in the 20th century. The unconventional movement provoked opposition, with church leaders associating spiritualism with witchcraft. The Society for Psychical Research, SPR, founded in 1882, investigated spiritualist claims, exposing fraudulent mediums, and contributing to the eventual decline of spiritualism. Currently, spiritualist camps still exist in the USA, notably in Lily Dale in upstate New York, Camp Chesterfield in Indiana, and Camp Casadaga in Florida. In the United Kingdom, the Spiritualists National Union, SNU, is a spiritualist organization that operates the Arthur Findlay College, situated in Essex. This college offers a range of practical courses on spiritualism, including mediumship and trance.